Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today, we're talking about a coin that changed American coinage forever, the 1965 Washington quarter. You've probably heard the rumors. Some people claim that a 1965 quarter sold for $1.9 million. That's right, a coin that looks like any other quarter in your pocket supposedly brought in nearly $2 million. Sounds insane, doesn't it? But the truth, as always, is far more fascinating than the headlines. So in this video, we're going to take you through the real history of the 1965 Washington quarter, what makes it so important, how it shook up the coin world, and whether any of these coins could actually be worth a fortune. If you've ever wondered whether that old quarter in your change jar could be hiding a secret, this is the video for you. Let's go back to the early 1960s. Up until 1964, all Washington quarters were made of 90% silver. These silver quarters weren't just currency. They were also a form of real silver bullion in your pocket. But as the price of silver began to rise, people started hoarding coins. The U.S. Mint was in crisis. Silver coinage was disappearing from circulation faster than they could produce it. That's when a major change took place. In 1965, the Mint made a historic decision. They stopped producing quarters with silver and switched to a copper-nickel clad composition, a sandwich of copper in the center with a nickel coating on the outside. The goal was to reduce costs, stop hoarding, and keep coins circulating. And that brings us to the 1965 Washington quarter, the very first year of the clad quarter. At a glance, it looks just like the silver quarters that came before it, but its composition is completely different. Instead of 90% silver, it's mostly copper, with a nickel layer giving it that silvery look. Over 1.8 billion of these quarters were struck that year, making it one of the highest mintages in U.S. coin history. Because of that massive number, most 1965 quarters are incredibly common. You can still find them in circulation today. In worn condition, they're worth just 25 cents. But, and this is important, there are exceptions. And those exceptions are why some 1965 quarters have made headlines and shocked, even experienced collectors. So, where does that jaw-dropping figure of $1.9 million come in? It's tied to a rare phenomenon: transitional error coins. You see, while the Mint officially stopped making silver quarters in 1964, it's believed that a very small number of silver planchets, that is, blank discs mint for 1,964 coins, were accidentally left in the machinery and got struck with the 1965 design. That means a few 1965 quarters were actually struck on silver blanks, even though they were supposed to be made of copper-nickel. These rare transitional errors are the holy grail for collectors. They look just like any other 1965 quarter but weigh slightly more, and when tested, they contain silver instead of copper. And those coins, the real silver 1965 quarters, are worth a lot of money. In fact, one of these silver transitional error 1965 quarters sold at auction for over $7,000. Another sold for $12,000. And yes, there have been claims, unconfirmed but widely circulated, that one example may have sold privately for as much as $1.9 million due to its uniqueness and historical significance. While that number hasn't been verified by major auction houses, the mere fact that collectors are even discussing million-dollar valuations for this coin shows just how powerful these minting errors can be. But how do you know if your 1965 quarter is one of these ultra-rare silver strikes? The first clue is the edge of the coin. A standard 1965 clad quarter has a clearly visible copper line around the edge. That's because the coin is a sandwich of copper and nickel. But a silver coin will not show that copper strip. Its edge will look solid silver or gray. You can also weigh the coin. A standard clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams. That slight difference can make all the difference. So if you have a 1965 quarter and it doesn't show a copper edge and weighs closer to the silver version, you may have something special on your hands. But that's not all. Some 1965 quarters have been found with other minting errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and other unusual features that can raise the value significantly. High-grade 1965 quarters, meaning those in mint state condition, especially those graded MS-66 or higher, can also be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on demand and rarity. Now, let's talk about condition. Most 1965 quarters were used heavily in circulation, which means they show wear, scratches, and dullness. These are worth only face value. But if you happen to have a coin that looks brand new, with sharp detail and full original luster, it could be uncirculated. And if it's graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC as mint state 67 or above, that quarter could sell for hundreds of dollars at auction, even without any error. Combine a high grade with a rare error, like a silver planchet or a striking mistake, and now you're talking about serious money. So, is the 1.9 million $1,965 quarter real? The short answer is this. While there's no official record of that exact sale price, the existence of rare silver era 1965 quarters is confirmed and well documented. Some have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Others remain in private collections or hidden in unknown places, waiting to be discovered. It is possible that one especially unique example, combined with perfect condition, historic interest, and a private collector willing to pay a premium, could command a sky-high price. So while it may not be the norm, it's not outside the realm of possibility. That's why collectors and treasure hunters continue to search through old rolls of quarters, hoping to find the one that breaks the mold. To sum it up, the 1965 Washington quarter marked the end of the silver era and the beginning of modern coinage in the United States. It's one of the most common coins out there, but a few rare and valuable versions do exist: silver planchet errors, high-grade examples, and other minting mistakes. Most are only worth face value, but some have sold for thousands and possibly more. The dream of a $1.9 million quarter might sound far-fetched, but in the world of rare coins, anything is possible. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into rare coins, coin values, and what to look for in your own pocket change. Drop a comment below if you've ever come across a 1965 quarter that looked different, or if you've got questions about other coins you want us to cover. Until next time, keep looking closely at your change. You never know, your next quarter might just be worth more than you ever imagined. Let me know if you want a version tailored for shorts, TikTok, or in a different tone like dramatic storytelling or educational classroom style. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in recent times, the 1993 P Washington quarter. Now, you may have heard rumors online or seen viral videos saying that this coin could be worth as much as $1.4 million. Sounds crazy, right? But what's the real story behind this coin? Is it just hype, or could one of these ordinary-looking quarters sitting in your change jar actually be a hidden treasure? Stay with me, because we're going deep into the history, design, minting, errors, collector value, and the truth behind the million-dollar claim. Let's start with the background. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of American coinage since it was first introduced in 1932. It was designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the left-facing bust of Washington, designed by John Flanagan. That same design was used for decades, all the way through the early 1990s. On the reverse side, we see an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, a symbol of strength and readiness, surrounded by olive branches symbolizing peace. Now fast forward to 1993. This was a year when the U.S. Mint was producing hundreds of millions of coins. The 1993 P Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the small letter P just to the right of Washington's ponytail. In total, over 639 million of these quarters were produced. That means in general, this coin is not rare. You could easily find one in your pocket change even today. So how does a coin like that get tied to a value as high as $1.4 million? We'll get there. But first, let's talk about the coin's value in average conditions. If you've got a circulated 1993 P quarter, one that's been through the ringer, used in vending machines, passed through countless hands, it's generally only worth its face value, 25 cents. Even in slightly better shape, it might be worth $1 or $2 at most. But for collectors, condition is everything. When a coin is in pristine, mint state condition, that means it's never been used, has no scratches, no wear, sharp details, and full luster. Then we're talking about something worth much more. A 1993 P quarter graded MS65, which stands for Mint State 65, might sell for around $10 to $20. An MS-66 example can fetch as much as $100 or more depending on the demand. And the rare MS-67 or MS-68 examples, which are extremely hard to come by because most coins suffer even the smallest imperfections during the minting process. Those can go for several hundred, sometimes even thousands of dollars at auction. But still, nowhere near 1.4 million. So where did that $1 million rumor come from? The truth is, it most likely stems from a viral article or video that featured an unusual or error coin, or even a misleading headline suggesting a regular 1993 P quarter was once sold for 7 figures. In reality, no 1993 P quarter has ever officially sold for that much, at least not through any recognized auction house or major grading service. However, coins have sold for large amounts due to rare errors. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, wrong planchets, or other dramatic minting mistakes. For example, a quarter that was struck on a foreign coin blank or had multiple striking errors could attract serious attention from collectors. If such a coin from 1993 with a Philadelphia mint mark exists and has the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical interest, then yes, it could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. But even then, hitting that $1 million mark would be extremely rare and would need serious verification, provenance, and collector backing. Now here's what you should look for. If you have a 1993 P quarter, the first thing to do is check the overall condition. Hold it up to a light. Does it have scratches? Dull surfaces? That's normal, and it means it was circulated. But if it looks perfect, no wear at all, sharp edges, and a mirror-like finish, it could be uncirculated and worth a closer look. Next, look for any unusual features. Are there doubled letters or numbers in the date or the word Liberty? That could be a double die. Is the image off-center? Is the coin thicker or thinner than normal? Is there a weird texture or missing layer on the surface? All of those could be signs of a valuable mint error. If you suspect you have something unusual, do not clean the coin. Cleaning it could destroy the value. Instead, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can officially grade the coin, verify errors, and give it a certification that could help you sell it for top dollar. Now let's circle back to that $1.4 million figure. While there's no confirmed sale of a 1993 P quarter for that amount, the coin collecting world is full of surprises. In rare cases, coins with the right combination of condition, error, and history can fetch astronomical prices. But these are the exceptions, the lottery tickets of the numismatic world. If you're lucky enough to find one of those, congratulations. But for most of us, the thrill is in the hunt. Searching through coins, learning the history, and maybe discovering something worth a little extra. That's what collecting is all about. So to sum it all up, the 1993 P Washington quarter is a fascinating coin with a long legacy. While most are only worth face value, high-grade examples and rare errors can command real money, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But be skeptical of million-dollar claims unless they come with hard evidence and auction records. If you think you found a rare one, get it looked at. And even if you haven't, the joy of collecting and discovering the story behind every coin is worth its weight in gold. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins, values, and how to spot the treasures in your own pocket, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And let us know in the comments, have you checked your 1993 quarters lately? You never know what you might have sitting in your change jar. Until next time, keep hunting and happy collecting. Let me know if you want a shorter version, visuals ideas, or a version tailored for shorts or TikTok format. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a coin that looks completely ordinary at first glance, but has made headlines across collector communities and social media. That coin is the 1995 P Washington quarter. Some reports and videos claim that this specific quarter could be worth as much as $1.3 million. But is there any truth to that? How can a coin with a face value of just 25 cents possibly reach such a staggering price? In this video, we're going to uncover the true history of the 1995 P Washington quarter, its real market value, the types of rare errors that could make it valuable, and whether that million-dollar claim holds any water. Let's jump into it. First, let's go back to the roots. The Washington Quarter Series began all the way back in 1932, originally designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design features a left-facing bust of Washington on the front, created by sculptor John Flanagan. On the reverse is the iconic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and defense, with olive branches below representing peace. This design was used consistently up until 1998, right before the State Quarter Series began in 1999. Now, let's focus on the 1995 P quarter in particular. The P mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion Washington quarters, specifically, more than 1.3 billion of them. That makes the 1995 P quarter one of the most common modern quarters in circulation. In fact, there's a good chance you've had one in your pocket, purse, or change jar at some point. At face value, these coins are worth 25 cents. So how can a coin like that end up being associated with a value as high as $1.3 million? The truth is, for most people who own a 1995 P quarter, the value will be exactly what's printed on the coin, 25 cents. Even in lightly circulated condition, they're generally not worth more than $1. However, in the world of coin collecting, condition matters more than anything else. Uncirculated coins, those that have never been used in everyday transactions and have remained in near-perfect condition since leaving the mint, can be worth more. A 1995 P quarter graded as Mint State 65 might sell for $5 to $10. A coin graded MS 66 could go for $20 or more. And when you reach Mint State 67 or higher, the value could jump into the hundreds, sometimes even low thousands, depending on demand. But even the finest known examples of this coin, in perfect condition, have never come close to the $1 million mark. So where did this $1.3 million story come from? In many cases, sensational headlines about coin values come from rare auction events, usually involving coins with significant mint errors or incredibly unique qualities. In other cases, they're the result of misinterpretations or clickbait articles that take the maximum possible value of an obscure error coin and imply that every quarter from that year might be worth the same. And unfortunately, this leads to a lot of confusion among people who come across these coins in everyday life. Now, that doesn't mean that every 1995 P quarter is worthless. Far from it. In rare cases, certain coins from this year and mint can exhibit serious minting errors, and this is where things get interesting. Collectors are always on the lookout for double die obverse, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors, and other unusual mint mistakes. These types of errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. For example, a 1995 P quarter that was struck on the wrong metal planchet, say, on a dime or a foreign coin blank, could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error and its condition. A double die variety, where the design appears to be doubled because of a die misalignment during minting, is another valuable error. While these are rare and not every collector finds one, the possibility adds a level of excitement to coin hunting. If a 1995 P quarter were to surface with a major, unique, and highly visible minting error, and if it were in pristine condition, certified by a top-tier grading company like PCGS or NGC, it could potentially sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But 1.3 million? Extremely unlikely, unless the coin had a one-of-a-kind error never before seen, backed by documented provenance, and supported by strong collector demand and auction interest. As of now, no 1995 P quarter has ever sold for anything close to $1.3 million. The highest known sales have been for coins in Mint State 67 or higher, and those rarely break the four-figure mark. The claim about $1 million sale appears to be a rumor or exaggeration, likely fueled by viral content designed to attract views rather than reflect reality. That being said, it is still worth checking your coins. Not because every 1995 P quarter is worth a fortune, but because errors do exist and high-quality examples are in demand among serious collectors. What should you look for? First, examine the condition. If the coin looks brand new, with no wear, sharp details, and full luster, it could be considered uncirculated. If you think you have a coin in exceptionally good shape, consider having it professionally graded. Next, Look closely at the coin for unusual features. Are the letters or numbers doubled? That could signal a double die. Is the coin off-center? Does it have a weird color or texture? Could it be missing part of the outer clad layer, revealing a copper core? All of these are signs of possible minting errors that might boost the coin's value. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to look carefully, or take clear photos and compare them with verified error examples online. That if you think you found something rare or unusual, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and reduce the value significantly. Instead, protect it in a coin flip or holder and seek out an expert opinion. You can submit it to a grading service, take it to a coin show, or speak to a trusted coin dealer for more insight. To wrap this up, the 1995 P. Washington quarter is a common modern coin with a simple yet classic design. In most cases, it's worth face value, but high-grade examples and error coins can bring in serious money. However, the story of a $1.3 million sale seems to be more fiction than fact. There's no record of any such transaction, and while rare coins can bring high prices, they need to meet very specific conditions. Still, there's nothing wrong with checking your change. That's part of the fun of coin collecting, the possibility that something rare could be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, informative, or interesting, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into coin values, US mint history, and how to identify valuable coins that might be right in your pocket. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a 1995 P quarter that looked unusual, and if you have any questions about coins you'd like me to cover next. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your magnifier ready, and as always, happy collecting. Let me know if you want a follow-up script for a specific coin error, a rare quarter list, or a short format version of this for YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. In today's video, we're diving deep into a coin that might be sitting in your pocket or change jar right now, the 1993 P. Washington quarter. On the surface, it's a common coin, just another 25-cent piece minted in the millions. But if you've been paying attention to the coin collecting world, you may have seen some jaw-dropping headlines claiming that a 1993 P. Washington quarter sold for as much as $1.5 million. Is it true? Could a coin from the 1990s really be worth that much? Or is it just another internet rumor blowing things out of proportion? Today, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at the actual history of the Washington quarter, what makes the 1993 P quarter unique, how to tell if yours could be valuable, and whether any version of this coin could possibly sell for over $1 million. So if you've got a handful of spare change nearby, you might want to check it while we go through this, because one small detail could mean the difference between 25 cents and a life-changing discovery. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was originally intended to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter and remained in production. The design by John Flanagan features the left-facing bust of Washington on the front, and for many years, the reverse displayed a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. This design stayed in place until 1998, after which it was replaced by the 50-state quarters program. Now focusing in on 1993. This was a fairly standard year in terms of mintage. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small p mint mark on the coin, produced more than 639 million Washington quarters that year. That means, by default, the 1993 P quarter is not rare in the traditional sense. It's a high mintage coin, made for circulation, and most examples you'll find today have been handled, spent, and circulated heavily over the past 3 decades. So the majority of 1993 P quarters are worth face value, just 25 cents. But as always in the world of coin collecting, there are exceptions. Let's talk about condition first. Coins are graded based on their condition, and the best coins, known as mint state, are the ones that were never used in everyday transactions. A 1993 P quarter in mint state 65 might be worth $5 to $15, depending on the market. Go up to mint state 66 or 67, and the price can jump to $50, $100, or more. Only a tiny fraction of coins survive in that kind of pristine condition. The coins that bring in the big money, we're talking thousands, are usually those graded MS-68 or higher by top-tier grading companies like PCGS or NGC. And even then, a top-grade 1993 P quarter has only sold for a few $100s in most cases. So what about the $1.5 million claim? This is where things get interesting. The claim that a 1993 P Washington quarter sold for $1.5 million likely stems from an extremely rare error coin or from speculation that spiraled out of control. In some cases, coins with dramatic minting errors can fetch enormous prices. These include coins struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a quarter design mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank or a coin mint for a different denomination. Then there are double die coins, off-center strikes, broad strikes, missing layers, and other minting anomalies. If a 1993 P quarter was found with one of these rare errors, especially if it was in mint state or proof condition, it could be extremely valuable. However, for a coin to be worth over $1 million, it would need to be something truly extraordinary. We're talking about a one-of-a-kind piece, likely with a major error never seen before, in perfect condition, and with verified authentication from a top grading service. In most cases, million-dollar coins are historical rarities, such as 18th or 19th century gold pieces, early mint errors from the founding of the United States, or coins with deep historical significance. A 1993 P quarter would need to have a very unique reason to reach that kind of value. So far, no auction house or credible numismatic source has recorded a verified sale of a 1993 P quarter for $1.5 million. But that doesn't mean valuable coins from that year don't exist. In fact, several 1993 quarters with rare mint errors or extremely high grades have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. If you happen to have a 1993 P quarter with a visible error, or if it looks absolutely flawless with sharp details and no wear at all, it could be worth getting graded. Now let's talk about how to check if your 1993 P quarter is valuable. First, look at the mint mark. The P should be clearly visible just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Next, examine the coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for signs of doubling in the letters or numbers, especially in the word liberty, the date, or the phrase, "I in God we trust." If anything looks doubled or off-center, you may have a double die or misstrike. Check the edge of the coin too. Is it readed properly? Are there any signs of missing clad layers or copper showing through unusually? Any of these details could indicate a mint error that adds value. Weighing the coin is another useful step. A standard 1993 P quarter made from copper nickel clad should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly more or less than that, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. Rare planchet errors can be incredibly valuable, especially if the coin was struck on a dime blank or a foreign coin blank. One final tip: don't clean your coin. Cleaning a coin, even gently, can damage the surface and reduce its value dramatically. If you think your quarter might be worth something, handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a soft holder or coin flip until you can have it examined by a professional. So where does that leave us? The truth is, most 1993 P quarters are common and worth face value, but a small number of them, particularly those in mint state or those with rare errors, can be worth significantly more. As for the claim that one sold for $1.5 million, there's no confirmed public record of that happening. It may have been a misreported auction, a private collector sale, or just internet hype. But the possibility of rare and valuable versions of the 1993 P quarter absolutely exists. And that's what keeps collectors searching. At the end of the day, it's not just about the money. Coin collecting is about history, curiosity, and discovery. It's about finding treasure where no one else thought to look. So whether your 1993 P quarter is worth 25 cents or something much more, the real value lies in learning, exploring, and connecting with the stories behind each coin. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting or helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the world of coins. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever come across a 1993 P quarter that looked unusual or valuable. Until next time, keep checking your change, stay curious, and as always, happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, a version written for YouTube Shorts or TikTok, or if you want visuals and scene suggestions for the video. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating story behind a coin that many people overlook, but some claim could be worth as much as $1.6 million, the 1995 D Washington quarter. That's right, a coin that looks completely ordinary, just another quarter in your change jar, is making waves across collector circles and viral videos with rumors of life-changing value. But is it true? Could a coin from 1995 really be worth over $1 million? Or is this just another internet myth built on half-truths and hype? In today's video, we're going deep into the real history of the 1995 D Washington quarter, its production, its current market value, and what could possibly make one of these coins so rare and valuable that someone might pay a fortune for it. So grab your coin jar, check your pockets, and let's dive into one of the most talked about quarters in modern numismatic history. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a part of American coinage since 1932. It was introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it quickly became a permanent part of U.S. currency. The obverse features a bust of Washington facing left, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, and the reverse shows a bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness for battle, surrounded by olive branches representing peace. This design remained in use for decades until it was replaced in 1999 with the start of the 50-state quarters program. Now let's zoom in on the year 1995. The Denver Mint produced the 1995 D Washington quarter, and the D Mint mark can be found on the obverse of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That year, the Denver Mint struck more than 1.1 billion quarters. That's a huge number, and it immediately tells us that this coin is not rare in the traditional sense. You can still find 1995 D quarters in circulation today, and most of them are only worth their face value of 25 cents. So how did this coin end up being connected to a staggering price tag of $1.6 million? To understand that, we have to go beyond the average coin and talk about condition, grading, and rare mint errors. Let's start with condition. Coin collectors value coins based on their grade, which ranges from poor all the way up to mint state. A coin in circulated condition, that is, a coin that's been used in everyday transactions, will usually have scratches, worn-down features, and a dull appearance. These coins are common and not worth more than face value. But uncirculated coins, or coins in mint state, are a different story. A 1995 D quarter graded MS-65 might sell for a few dollars. One graded MS-66 can go for $20 to $50 depending on demand. And coins graded MS-67 or higher, those with virtually no flaws, perfect luster, and razor-sharp detail, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. But to reach $1 million price tag, there has to be more to the story. That's where mint errors come in. Mint errors occur during the coin manufacturing process, and they can dramatically increase a coin's value. These include things like double die errors, off-center strikes, coins struck on the wrong planchet, missing clad layers, broad strikes, and more. When a coin from a common year like 1995 is found with an extremely rare and dramatic error, especially in pristine condition, it can become a one-of-kind collectible. Oh, what about the claim that a 1995 D quarter sold for $1.6 million? As of today, there is no publicly verified auction where a 1995 D quarter reached that price. The rumor most likely started from a viral article or social media post that exaggerated the value of a rare error coin. However, there are legitimate examples of coins from the 1990s selling for tens of thousands of dollars due to rare mint errors. For example, a 1995 D quarter struck on a dime planchet, or one with an extreme off-center strike, could potentially sell for thousands if it's in excellent condition and authenticated by a professional grading service. The dream scenario is a perfect storm, a 1995 D quarter with a dramatic mint error struck in perfect condition and certified by a top grading company like PCGS or NGC. If that coin is also the only known example of its kind, and it gets the attention of a high-end collector or investor, it's not impossible to imagine it commanding a six-figure price. But $1.6 million? That's extremely rare, and it would require a perfect mix of historical importance, uniqueness, condition, and collector demand. Still, if you've got a 1995 D quarter, it's worth checking closely. Start by examining the overall condition. Does it look heavily worn? If so, it's probably only worth 25 cents. But if it looks sharp and new, with no scratches or dullness, it may be uncirculated. Look at the mint mark and the details of Washington's face, hair, and the eagle on the back. Are they clear and crisp? Hold the coin under good light or use a magnifier to spot any unusual features. Look for doubling of the letters or numbers, which might indicate a double die. Check if the coin is off-center or has a strange texture, color, or weight. If something seems off, you might have found an error. Weighing the coin is also important. A standard copper nickel-clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. And if you do think you have something unusual or valuable, do not clean the coin. Cleaning it can destroy the surface and ruin its value. Instead, store it safely and consider sending it to a professional grading service for evaluation. Let's be real. Most 1995 D quarters are not going to make you rich. But the fun of coin collecting is in the possibility. The chance that you could be the one to discover a rare error or a top-grade specimen that has been sitting unnoticed for years. And even if you don't find a $1,000,000 coin, learning the stories behind these coins and understanding what makes them valuable is rewarding in its own right. To wrap it up, the 1995 D Washington quarter is a common coin in terms of mintage, but with the right error or in the right condition, it can become something much more valuable. While the claim of a $1.6 million quarter has not been officially verified, there are legitimate high-value versions of this coin that have sold for impressive amounts. If you're curious, take a closer look at the quarters in your change. You never know, the next great discovery could be right in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a coin you thought might be rare, or if there's another coin you'd like us to cover in an upcoming video. Until next time, keep checking your change, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want a script for a follow-up video, a shorter version for YouTube Shorts, or content ideas for building a coin collecting series.